Welcome, everybody, to another interesting day on planet Earth. I'm Marion Mace from E equals VS and coming to you today because I'd love to share some information from Grigori Grabovoy's book, The Resurrection of People and Eternal Life. From now on, it's our reality. So it's a big topic, and I have to admit, when I first heard it, I was pretty challenged because probably from my Catholic upbringing, I had some visions that there were some ghouly looking people coming out of the earth and um, rising from graves and all sorts of things. I really didn't have a concept until I understood. And then reading and studying the information with some of the Russian teachers, some of my colleagues, I understood that this whole concept of life goes beyond the dogma, perhaps that I was taught, maybe you were taught, goes beyond the structure of the world. And I've just been on a webinar where somebody's starting to talk about you can go to a death cafe and discuss everything about death. And for me, it was like, oh my gosh, this is really foreign to me. I mean, do we go to a life cafe and start talking about the amazing things that we want to create and everything about life? It's almost very much like an old movie called Soylent Green. I never enjoyed that anyway. So in the weeks before Easter, we put our focus and our understanding on the technologies of bringing the gone ones, which Grabovoi talks about, the people that have chosen to leave their physical body, or perhaps not have chosen and have left their physical body, back into this physical world. And we go through the information for a few reasons. Firstly, so people start to understand this whole concept as being a total shift in thinking away from what we've perhaps been led to believe through different systems. Secondly, we share the information and before perform some of the 50 methods of resurrection, and not just of bringing people back, but regeneration of our physical body. And if you want to think about it, every cell in our body is resurrecting itself at any moment of time. And secondly, we go through the resurrection of Grigori Grabovoy's book to counter the disinformation and propaganda by religious dogma that has us believe that it's normal to die and get old, that to die is the only way that you can reach eternal life, which from my studying is total BS. For sure, it's part of how to hypnotize the masses into being compliant and keeps us in the system of, especially where if you don't do something right, you'll have to come back, it'll be your karma. That is all finished back in 2012. We also impregnate the information field with the knowledge and the structure of life, of eternal life, and that resurrection is not a miracle, but a technology. This structure then starts to impact the collective consciousness thinking, and slowly, one by one, people start to get to the idea as like, it's normal. I can actually live in my physical body and I don't need to die. The reason why you're not living eternally at the moment is because for hundreds of years we have been poisoned in various ways: water, air, food, and even our thinking. So the The third reason is that we share this knowledge to start to remove the distortion which culminates with some of the dark aspects of our reality who perform what I call anti-life rituals that have nothing to do with the prime creator's meaning of eternal life. So we start to counteract as they harnessed, unfortunately, souls down their path and not towards the creator. So we are designed to live eternally in a physical body. As I said, it was a big concept for me to get my head around. And I remember one of the German participants in one of the seminars I went to put his hand up and said, so does that mean if I bring back my dad, I will have to give back my inheritance? To which the facilitator said, if your father is bringing himself back into the physical reality, he doesn't need any money. In fact, they come back with their own fifth dimensional consciousness, which is why you want people back in the world. And if you get a chance to read Grab a Voice books, and it's one of those must read books I started with, first of all, it gives you an understanding of creator, soul, spirit, consciousness, why we need a physical body, and the technologies and reasons why you would actually want to bring people back in the world. Another falsity that's out in the world is, well, why would you want to bring, people back? Because we're overpopulated in the world. And I've just heard some recent information that is saying that we'd be lucky to actually have 3 billion people in the world. So us being told that we're overpopulated and that we need to make sure there's not enough people on the earth is part of the, again, BS program that's been out there. So the earth, like us, is an entity, and it has the ability to grow along with the people coming back. But you'll discover all that sort of information in the book. So just be a little patient with me when I read the introduction from the book, because it might give you a bit of a teaser and some beautiful number sequences that I will pop below that you can practice while going through this information. So here we go. This is the introduction to the book of Resurrection. In this book, I will tell you about my practice on resurrection. One can speak about the resurrection or about regeneration of not only people, but also of any other objects. Principles and methods of the resurrection of people can be used to raise or regenerate any object, including plants and also animals. For that, before reading and applying these principles, you can concentrate on the number rows 894319891578. Second number 960819311714. And the third number sequence 218904568412188. And then extend the act of the principle to the object being resurrected or regenerated. Before using methods, you can concentrate first receptively on the number rows 2893714088891, and the next sequence 2084713981148. For many people, resurrection is something symbolic, though everyone at soul level perceives resurrection as the reality of the world's existence at any time. However, many people have yet to grow spiritually to be able to perceive the world as in this book, I will tell you about my practice work on resurrection. One can speak about the resurrection or about regeneration of not only people, but also of any other objects. Principles and methods of the resurrection of people can be used to raise or regenerate any objects, including, as I said before, plants and animals. For many, resurrection is something symbolic, though everyone at soul level, as I said, perceives this. However, many people have yet to grow and understand. To be able to perceive the world at soul level, and therefore they so far do not perceive the word resurrection in its direct meaning, the way it was really meant to be perceived. Having this level of understanding, a person has to make an effort in order to comprehend how someone who is gone can indeed suddenly come back. The matter is that there are people who do not purposefully ponder on how the world is organized, what is its laws, and what life is. And therefore, besides resurrection, many other facts may be perceived. with wonder as well. For example, cures performed by me without touch and at a distance of AIDS and the big C word in their terminal stages, weather control, precise detection of malfunctions and defects of technical equipment of any levels of complexity, including equipment on space objects, materialization and dematerialization of different things, computer management on distance by the power of our thought, changing the past, the present, and the future, and understanding or conversation among people, no matter what the distance, no matter the language, and so on. All these facts have been confirmed by the official documentation and already added up to several volumes. Many of these facts can be perceived as a miracle. However, the following needs to be kept in mind. It is known that a miracle doesn't conflict with the laws of nature. A miracle conflicts with our idea of nature's laws. The time has come to change a conventional views about the world around us and its organisation. All the more reason for doing this on the eve as we start to move into not only the new millennia when this book was written, but also as we move into a new age, into a golden age. This is necessary for the world's rescue and salvation. This is a starting bit from Grab a Voice book that I've read for you today. As I said, I'll put that all down below so you can read it for yourself and start to ponder on what that means. Now, as I said to you, when I first heard this, I had certain inbred ideas in my mind what it might mean. And I certainly, when I was pondering, was like, so what if I resurrected my parents? They'll come knocking back on my door and then they'll come into the house, and what will everybody say and how will I cope with that? That's not what it means at all. And that'll start to be explored, because when the people have come back into the physical world, what happens is there's a process of integration, and you'll read that in the book. But not only that, the person chooses where they want to go, what life they want to have, and what mission they perhaps have in the world. They also come back into their physical body that they left, generally a lot younger. And so some of those misunderstandings that probably have been programmed in us are really spelt out in this book. And half the book, in the physical book, it has the Russian documentation of people that have witnessed or have seen people that have come back into the physical reality. Now, I don't speak Russian, but I'm sure it's all notary documented so you can see it's not just made up or make believe. It's all spelled out in the book, so have fun. Even jump on a Kindle edition if you want to read the book, but I have it also as a physical document, and I love to go through it. And as I said, this March, this is the time close to Easter and around about Easter when I do a large control for the resurrection of people to counteract the dark anti-life rituals that are performed at this time of the year. So I hope that's a new concept for you, that you start to ponder on what that means. And for many of you who are awake and aware, it's like we're starting to understand there's a lot that we've been told that's not true. And we're starting to realize we've been lied to. Even history is made up. So this isn't made up. This is about how our reality is constructed and the absolute power we hold in creating our world, because that's what they need. They need us because we are creators. In every strand of our DNA, it starts with God eternal within. So I'll leave you that for now. Please ponder on that idea, and I'll see you next time with some more information on resurrection. Bye for now.